Here's a sick oldie, an old Dewalt router. There's the old half-inch DW625E Type 5. Same idea as the old Elu that I've done the other week. Same problem too, I believe. Bearings. I hope so anyway. Question is, does she run at all? Well, she'll start. She's a bit freer now, but that first attempt she was starting to stall. Definitely hear its bearings anyway. Strip us down, get some new bearings in her. That's one way to stop the nut coming off for the lock nut. That to one side. We just need this. Now this is an oldie, and it's been getting plenty of use, so it's probably due a new set of bearings anyway. Plenty of use is right. Plenty of dust on there. Take note of where your wires are, because you'll have to put them back in the exact same location. That's your controller with all the wee spade connectors sticking down. Makes it very difficult to get it wired back in again. So try take note where they are. Otherwise it's a tight squeeze, putting everything back. This time I'm just going to remove these. To get the switch, just remove the handle. It's a big PH3 head. Get the wee countersunk screw. Then you can pull out your switch along with your leads. Switch is hooked onto this wee plate. That's what your actual lever down here screws onto. Get rid of that. Get your cable tidy and your switch. Ready to access down on here to get to these 4 screws. Cables. Take off these 2 red ones. Then we can take off this speed controller. Just a few plates for holding down your brush holders. So you can pull out your brushes then. The problem is getting this separated. This bearing's set on this side. This bearing's pressed on this side. So you can't press them either way. You have to actually separate them apart, which is a problem. Now this is the high risk item. This wee taco on top. This is for your speed control. There's a wee magnet that picks up the armature rotating, so it gives some feedback into your speed controller to monitor your speed, so you can go up and down or keep a constant speed. If you break that, even if you crack it, that's your speed controller gone. Not even sure if you can still get them. I do believe you can, but I have none in stock. So it'll be a real torture to only need a set of bearings, but have to order a new part on as well. To remove this, 2 pry bars, one other side, very gently prise it up. Try to get it underneath if you can. Don't be prising out near the edge, you'll just crack that. That is very brittle. Underneath that you have a wee C-clip. Pull that off. Now we need to remove the housing from the armature. Now to get this apart, you're going to need a set of pullers, 2 leg pullers. I only have this wee cheap mini set. My normal set are actually a 3 leg. These are going to have to do for me. You're going to want to get it hooked on either side of the plastic housing. We've got plenty of meat. Just hooked on, centered up, get it clamped on good and tight. Don't want this coming undone. You don't want it stripping out on the plastic either. So if it slips, it's going to take the plastic with it. It's actually easier than I thought it was going to be. Thought that one was going to be very tight. Can sometimes be extremely tight. But that was fine. One thing I forgot is the screw for the bottom for your depth gauge. It won't come off without that removed. There we go. There's the trouble there. Bottom bearing's not good. Top bearing's not good either. You also have a bunch of wave washers as well to keep that bearing pressed and tight. It's totally shot. Change that one. We'll also clean out that housing. Now for this one. Now you can press this armature out as is, because the bearing actually comes out this way, but to get the bearing out you will have to remove this lock button. It's just screwed on, 3B screws. I can sit over there. Bearing itself is held on by a retention nut. That has to be taken off as well. Now you get a special tool for it, or you can use a screwdriver. The edge of the screwdriver on the wee cut, and give it a tap. It's not on overly tight. If you are having difficulty, you can put it onto the vise. Just clamp the actual armature itself on the vise and give it a couple of taps then. It shouldn't be too tight. It's slackened off already. It's only just holding the bearing in place. It's not putting much tension on it. Now, you have to get this armature off the bearing. Now for pressing this out on the bearing press, sidewall here of this motor housing, it's fairly thin. If that's very tight to come out, and you have steel plates sitting across here, you could very easily break that aluminium. So instead, put your steel plates up here. That'll give you a bit more meat and help retain it a wee bit better. Plus, get the clearance to get the fan out. Air deflector also needs to come out. Get her set up like that. Hopefully it won't be too tight. Nice one. And sir, I do love it when they come out nice and easy. It's not totally gone. No, it is. Burnt up sawdust. Towards that. Seal inside will be hiding a surprise. Yeah, all burnt up on the inside. Well gone. Just knock that out. That's us. Just give everything a wee bit of a dust down. Don't have to be too thorough. At the end of the day, it's a machine and it's going to be used again. Just clean out the brass bushings down in here for your plunger. Bring it up and down. Make sure that's nice and smooth. And just get rid of some of the sawdust inside, so it's not interfering with anything. Quick wee spruce up. That's all it needs. Do the same for your armature, especially around the fan and the motor housing. Give all that a good clean down and then blow it out with a compressor. That should be us good to go. You can see that armature has been rubbing. The bearing's been bad for a while, and she's rubbed on a wee bit at the bottom, just down here. Look. If it had got any worse, probably would have destroyed the motor. This is in just in the nick of time. If you're running a machine and you can hear it growling or making a very bad noise or vibration, get it checked over. Make sure the bearings aren't bad. Major cause of motor failure is bearings. If they fail, they wobble about and they start touching the field inside. Start melting the field, melting the armature, eventually shorten out the motor. So if you're in any doubt, check them out. That might be tight. Let's get yourself a blowtorch just to help it out a little bit. Plus it's nicer to work on now when it's winter time. Push that on. I'll press this all on together. That's it. And refit your nut. Just a standard thread. It's not left hand or anything. And again, it doesn't have to be overly tight. Just needs to hold that bearing. Much better. Now, when you get to this stage, don't want to forget is your switch. Make sure you have that sitting in position. If you forget that, you have to dismantle the whole thing again. That's it. Screw it all back together. Two halves go together a lot easier than they come apart. First bearing. Now for the second one, we've got 4 wave washers and 1 flat washer. Flat washer sandwiched in between. Drop them in. Let me press on this bearing. Don't over tighten it. You can refit your C-clip or circlip. That's her running free again. Lastly, your tackle. Don't be rough with that. Should be able to just press it on by hand. Your lock button as well. If you're ever running one of these machines, if you have one yourself and you get a smell of burning coming from it, not the smell of a motor burning, but the smell of wood burning, check out this wee lock button plate. See the way it's black on the underside? Sawdust can build up inside of here until it starts to pack out. Then the actual bearing lock nut here is running around inside of here as well. Can generate a lot of heat and start burning the sawdust, so you get a lot of smoke, black coming out of here. If that ever happens, Pull off the 3 screws, take this plate out and clean out on there. Get rid of all the sawdust. That'll stop the burning smell. Dead easy to reassemble. Just a spring and a pin. Drops for the top. Actual pin has this wee lip on it. The lip sits inside the housing. So once you press it down, it can't come out. That's the lock pin. Now, this is the awkward bit, getting it rewired. Keep it simple. First thing is the brushes. Get them in when you've plenty of room. Don't forget the wee steel plates for holding them in. Now, this is where things get a bit more complicated. Getting it rewired. 2 connectors here. One lead going from your capacitor on this red lead onto a double spade. That connects on there. The lead from that connects onto this other red lead here. That'll go onto your switch. The other side for your cap is up here. Connect to this other red side, which will be the other side of your switch. Lastly, this here last spade connector takes this red wire from the field. Next up is your switch. Stick that plate on, slide it down into place. Just connect up your switch lever. Single red connector on your live side, and the double connector goes to the neutral. Just get everything pressed on the way it was before. Just like I say, it's a tight fit. Nearly there. adjustment screw back in again. Tighten her up. I'll just reuse his 2 nuts for the top lock. And that's her. One Dewalt router with 2 new bearings. DW625E LX Type 5. Now, what we want to know, does it work? Look at that. Up and running again, no problem. Smooth as anything now. All it needed was 2 bearings. A 6201 and a 6005. That's how you change the bearings on a Dewalt 1/2" router. So if you're liking these videos, don't forget, because we like and follow, hit the notification button at the bottom too to get notification when there's one posted. Thanks again everybody for watching.